told Ghanaians to believe you and your team and believe in the process. When you touched a 3-man team, you told the whole nation, I should give you 3 days to get us a coach. Why did it take so long for us to speculate and speculate for it to get to this time? Even to the 11th for the Ministry of Fitness was to give us a press release that they are not happy. Why that's guy? And with your decision, this decision, is it not a slap on the face of coaches on the local scene? And for Coach Milo, your team that you used to make the one goal project for us, we have a different crop of players now. Are we still believing in you to do the same one goal project for us? We know that we need is the result. Is it the same players you're going to use, or this crop of players you're going to use? Thank you very much.
What's the name? Is it Emmanuel?
My name is Theophilus.
Theophilus. Coach Milovan was last here in 2010. 11 years ago. I doubt if any of the players he used at the World Cup are still playing. So clearly he will not use the same players. Is that not the case? That is the case. Okay. What is the other question? There's not been any delay. I don't know whether you were here at the start of this engagement, but the General Secretary went through the process, went through the dates. Perhaps you missed it, but there's not been any delay at all. Not at all. For a recap, just listen to him again.
So at the Executive Council meeting, the committee was tasked to bring a name of head coach and assistant coaches within 3 days. They presented that report within the 3 days. And if you look at the GFA website, we published it. And we said that these are the next steps. And then we mentioned the next steps. That having found the coach, there will be internal alignment with relevant stakeholders. Very important. Then we said after that, the Executive Council will make the decision. It is after that decision that the General Secretary can then sign a contract as stipulated in our statutes. The General Secretary cannot just sign the contract without approval of the Executive Council. It is the provision and the power to appoint the coaches to the Executive Council. So the 3-man committee will report to the Executive Council, internal alignment to be made, decision will be taken, signing of the contract, and then unveiling. So that is the process we publish. Now, journalists are liberty to speculate. The ministry sought to answer the speculation that nowhere has 45,000 been mentioned. And they have within their right to answer that and clear that mystery. And we've gone through the figures, nowhere have I mentioned 45,000. So the ministry was within their right to clear that. Clearing that does not mean that the steps have not been followed or that there is some pitfall anyway. So we've gone through the process, and like we always do, and as the President said, we would sign the contract, and then a copy, as usual, will be submitted to the ministry, having engaged all relevant stakeholders already before the decision. Thank you very much.
Okay. My name is Wallace from MTL. On the decision and then the effect on the local coaches, whether it is a slap on the face.
Why is it a slap? No, I don't. No, let me. What is a slap? Ghana is one of the topmost football nations in Africa. And Ghana deserves only the best top trainers, wherever they may come from, wherever we would find them. But in any case, there's a man here called Maxwell Kunedu. Is he not a coach of the Black Stars? There's another man called Otuado. Is he not a coach of the Black Stars? So what is the slap on the face of the local coach? This is Richard Olede Kingston. Is he not an assistant coach of the Black Stars? Please, let's stop this they and us business. The Black Stars is the topmost brand of our football association. The Black Stars deserve the very best across board. No sentiments. I'm just here going through the salaries of coaches who coach our direct competitors, Nigeria, South Africa, Morocco. And I'm sure that if you start going through the figures, you say, we're into me, but these are our peers, these are our colleagues, these are the people we go head to head. Okay? So, my opening remarks in this engagement was to show clearly our intent to invest or to continue our investment in our coaches. I think this has been established. Again, through our direct policies, we've given a lot more opportunities to our coaches via national team engagement. You can see clearly that for every national team, we have 2 assistant coaches, not 1 that it used to be. There's more opportunities for our coaches. Currently, we have a fully functional technical directorate. It's for our coaches. This is not a picture of an FA who doesn't believe in our local coaches. Otuado is a Ghanaian. Maxwell Kunedu is a Ghanaian. Seiki Akono is a Ghanaian. Kwesi Appiah is a Ghanaian. And you are a Ghanaian. I hope you will be a good coach in future. Thank you.
Milo Ghanaian.
And Milo says he's a Ghanaian. Because at least when Ghana was pitched against Serbia, who won? Milo won. Ghana won. Yeah, that's why.
Thank you. Prosta je računica, u stvari vi ste taj projekat nazvali 1-0, ali prosta je računica, 5 puta po 1-0 to je 15 bodova, a jednom 5-0 i 4 poraza to je 3 poena. Računica je čista, znači živi se od rezultata. Sigurno da svojim igračima nikad ne kaže ne daj 1-0 i da pravim takvu kombinaciju, ali jednostavno tako se desilo i vidite kakve smo rezultate imali, da je Gana najbolja bila u Africi i ja premier u Africi.
This is an interesting question because this is what journalists call one goal project. I never instructed my players to go on the field and to score 1 goal and stop. You understand? So, this is very. I mentioned once that I prefer 5 victories. Every victory 1-0. It's 15 points. You know, than to win 1 match 5-0. Of course, I would like my boys to score as many goals as possible. This is normal. So. That's why this is going to be the goal in every next match. So we will not obstruct ourselves in terms of, okay, let's score 1 goal and defend. We didn't do that. So this was just the circumstances. If you look at when you play the matches at the highest level, you have to be cautious and smart. So in the end, it's important for you to win, to get points or to go to the next stage of the competition. So this is always our primary target. So I hope our boys will score as many goals to make everybody happy.
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we have. I will take the last 2 questions on behalf of Wallace.
Yeah, my name is Wallace from MGL. As part of the process of not doubting the process, I would like to know the takeover of the 2 assistant coach and the interpreter. And then again, Milo left us in 2010 when we were still on our knees begging him to come back. What is the surety that he's not going to do the same? And did he ever thought of a day like this again with Ghana? And does he think that he needs to render an apology to Ghana after leaving us in 2010?
Well, his contract finished in 2010. His contract finished.
Okay, the first question is remuneration for the two assistants. Maybe the General Secretary will take that.
Okay, so the two assistants, I don't have their permission to reveal, and that's the only reason why I will not reveal. Milo, when you notice that I said with his permission, I will reveal.
Okay, the interpreter will be paid by the coach. The president said it, General Secretary also mentioned it earlier. So that is not our responsibility.
Should we answer
What?
about why he left? Should he
Okay,
apologize? Pa dobro, posle svjetskog prvenstva ja sam radio mjesec dana bez ugovora. Jednostavno desi se takve situacije da sam morao da odem i jednostavno tako je bilo. Nadam se da će sad biti drugačije.
I already explained recently about this. I worked 1 month without a contract, which showed my good intentions. So my contract was already expired. So I don't know why should I apologize about this. You know, it's very simple. This is business and this is football. So my intention was to stay. Some things happen, and our ways. We part our ways.
Posle svjetskog prvenstva mnogo vas je pitalo da li Samoa Gyan treba da se izvine što nije dao gol iz penala.
You remember after the World Cup, many people asked, should Samoa Gyan apologize for not scoring that goal? So for us, you know, this question is, you know, something that shouldn't be asked or something like that. It's just shouldn't be polite at all.
My name is Albert Rajevac. Welcome to the community. My question is to the coach. Coach Milo, what will guarantee a player that Ghana Premier League plays in the Black Stars and probably in the starting line? What will guarantee?
What would guarantee?
The question is, what will guarantee a player in the Ghana Premier League that plays in the Black Stars and probably in the starting line?
Da dobije nešto, iz domaće lige dobije nešto. Pa znate, prošli put da je bilo mnogo igrača koji su pozivani iz domaćeg, čak smo i vodili lokalnu reprezentaciju i dosta igrača je napravljeno. Tako da, samo njihovi nastupi i samo da nas ubede da je to. Sjećate se Mafije, kako sam ga iz prvenstva na prvoj utakmici stavio u prvih 11, kad niko nije verovao, on je bio najbolji na terenu.
Only their performance. Their performance will recommend them to be selected in the team. If you remember, Daniel Yeboah played for Liberty Professionals at that time, and he played the first match against Lesotho in the first 11. So the performance is what will recommend them to be selected in the team. So every Ghanaian is able to play for the national team, and that's how they should think about that. I and my assistants will make sure that we see, watch, you know, have reports, and cover this so we can pick the best of them and give them a chance. Players talk on the pitch.
Mr. President, last question, please.
My question is for the President. Mr. President, I want to know why you appointed a coach without the involvement of the technical director.
Let me take this opportunity to tell or to talk about the role of the technical director. The technical director of an association is different from the technical director of a club. The technical director of an association is a creation of FIFA. In fact, it's one of the positions demanded by FIFA. technical director, general secretary, and there are a few positions that FIFA demands. The role of the technical director is development. The head coach role for the national team is results. So I've heard people talk about the technical director in a different way, as if he plays a very major role in the senior national team. The technical director's role is development up to the youth level. In meetings that the GFA requires technical input, the technical director gives the input. We've not said anywhere that the technical director did not give an input or gave an input. So to premise the question on the fact that why didn't you involve, that is to assume that the technical director's view was not taken at all or was taken. So I will share the role of the technical director to the media. Because you know, by seeing some of the media from FIFA, the technical director would have a relationship with the senior team's coach. And they will have good communication. It doesn't mean that supervising him in the way we envisage like club side. So please, the technical director's role is different from club side. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yawan from I'd like to ask Coach this question. Last question. I want to ask Coach Milo, what new outlook would you be giving to the Black Stars on the last one you saw in 2010 from 2008? What new outlook would you give to the Black Stars? And then has your philosophy of football changed since 2010?
Pa dobro, fudbal uvek. Fudbal uvek napreduje, sigurno treba pratiti njega. Kažem, vidjet ćemo sve se dešava na terenu i na terenu ko može da vidi, on vidi da šta treba i jednostavno sve se dešava tamo.
As you know, football is evolving, and of course, when you talk about philosophy, the philosophy is to try to win, and try to use the qualities of the player you have, use them in the best way to make a quality group of the players who are able to compete, able to fight against every team, and able to bring victories and happiness to all of you.
Okay, so thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's been 1 hour of updates and engagement and questions and answers. So obviously there will be a press conference before our game against Zimbabwe in Cape Coast. That game is on Saturday, October 9th in Cape Coast at 4 p.m. And there will be another press conference before we play that game. So on behalf of the leadership of the Ghana Football Association, we thank you so much for your presence and your company. The new coach of the Black Stars has begun his work, and we can only wish him well. Maybe the President wants to say something before we go.
Before we leave here, I want to thank the 3-man search committee led by the Vice President, Dr. Abe, and Alaji Zida for the good job. Kudiyazo. I think that they had very, very limited time to headhunt for the right man, but they worked 26 hours a day to ensure that we have the best man here with us. Vice President, thank you so much. Dr. Abe, thank you so much. Alaji Zida, thank you so much wherever you may be. And to Chairman George Amako and the team, thank you so much for all the hard work so far. There's a lot more to be done. And to my colleagues in the media, let's support our own. Our own is our Black Stars. The Black Stars is our own. We are not perfect. You may not necessarily agree with some of our decisions, but believe in the leadership of your football. Believe in the leadership of your football, because all of us have the same end vision. The vision is to make the brand good. The vision is to be competitive, and the vision is to be present on all big football platforms. That is the vision you have, and that's the vision we have. We may differ in how we navigate the plane to the right destination, to our destination, to our common destination. We may differ, but the end vision remains the same. Mpamocho, Mr. Let's support our own. Our own is our domestic leagues, our competitions, our own is our national teams. And in this instant case, our own is our Black Stars. Let's support the team. Let's give the team the right atmosphere to be able to perform. Upcoming next will be two important games for us. Two very, very important games. We need the positive energy around the team. There's a new Tenkra team in place. Let's give them the opportunity to excel. Pamocho muye na montie. Pamocho muye na montie. Let's give the Tenkra team the opportunity to excel. Let's offer them that opportunity and let's see whether they excel or not. Let's support them. Let's support the players, because we cannot bring Diego Simoni from Azerbaijan to come and play for Ghana. We can only have our Ghanaians to play for our dear national team. Even if they are not of the highest quality, which I doubt, they are the ones we have. And with the right environment, with the right direction from this new team, they can take us to the promised land. Please, let's support, let's change the storylines. Enough of the breaking news and the negative story. Breaking news, positive story. Yes, that is the only way we can encourage the team. That's the only way we can bring corporate Ghana close to our sports. That's the only way your lives could also be affected or impacted positively by football. On that note, I want to thank you so much again. The team here, the General Secretary, Coach,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
this bad boy.
Bad boy.
Who? Henry. He's a bad boy. Oh, okay. Coach Maxwell Kuneju, Coach Otto Addo, Coach Richard Kingston, my colleagues on the executive committee, the board chairman of Asasia Bayi and TJ, Sami Enimado. Oh, Sami, they want to see you. The board chairman of Asasia Bayi, Uncle Zico, George Amako, former Vice President Fred Papo, I think our director. At least today, I'm sure your role in football in this country is very clear to everybody. Because people think that you do the selection for the Black Stars. And you must do the selection. And you must ensure that we win the games. Okay? But we are grateful for this platform, a platform to exchange knowledge. Thank you so much. We'll meet in Cape Coast. Our Black Stars will fight. That's a promise. You will see a team that truly represents Ghana. I believe in that. And will not leave Cape Coast Stadium having won and having not been satisfied. It will not happen. Ejana to me, Ampa. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. We are done with the press conference.
Well, Milovan Rajevac returns to the Black Stars after 11 years, and quite a comprehensive unveiling there, about 1 hour, 30 minutes. We'll be taking you through the recap of all the information laid across from the Ghana Football Association President, Keto Kweku, and also taking a look at the highlights from the new Black Stars boss. But before we do that, let's get back to Muftau Nabila to bring us up to speed on who's around and probably get some information from some dignitaries at the event.
Have in Africa. Okay. We also had somebody with an African experience, somebody with proven background of constructing teams, putting teams together, and somebody who has the ability to bring in young talent. And then he must have a disciplinary background, strong disciplinary background, and a tactician as well as strong leadership. So when you narrow it down, of course, you have to have a high, like a pro, UFF pro or equivalent. So when you narrow it down in Africa for the past 10 years, you're going to realize that about maybe 3 or 4, especially with the Ghana experience. And you can tell for yourself, coaches who have been in Ghana, who have won the CAF, and so you want somebody who hits the ground running. And we narrowed to 2. We talked to 1. He wasn't available. And the second one was Milo, who was more than happy to come back, and he was looking forward to the opportunity. So it kind of worked out well.
So what kind of responsibility have been handed to Milovan?
Responsibility, that's he's the head trainer of the national team. And that's the same responsibility he had while he was here. He has to win, and he has to qualify us for the World Cup, as well as win the AFCON. So those are the same clear. It's very clear to our national team coaches, the same responsibilities we give them.
And that is the chairman of the 3-man committee, Mark Addo, who doubles as the vice president of the Ghana Football Association. They hunted and concluded that Milovan Rajevac was needed to return to the country as head coach of the senior national team. On September 8, 2010, Milovan's tenure as head coach of the senior national team came to an end after leading the Black Stars to the quarterfinal of the FIFA World Cup. However, he's back again after 10 years, and the Ghana Football Association have given him a simple task, and that task is to end Ghana's near 40 years of failure to win the African Cup of Nations. And what it also means is that should he win that competition, he'll be walking home with $300,000 dollars for the financial package, as reported by Joy Sports earlier. Should he also qualify the country to the FIFA World Cup 2022, he'll be given same amount by the Ghana Football Association. His contract, as reported by Joy Sports earlier, is 1.5 years. The first year is for him to ensure that we qualify for the World Cup. Should he qualify Ghana to the World Cup, automatically his contract is going to be extended to February 28, 2023. From the Ghana Football Association for Joy News and on Joy Prime, I am Muftau Nabila Ablai.
Well, so that was Muftau Nabila Abdullah of the Joy Sports team bringing us updates of what happened there. Before that, he actually spoke to Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, Mark Addo. And Muftau did his best impression to try and get a recap of the biggest stories from the 1 hour, 30 minute unveiling of the new, or not so new, Black Stars coach, Milovan Rajevac. But Gary would be quickly taking us through a recap of some of, the big news we came across at the GFA Secretariat.
Well, so Milovan Rajevac's biggest or the best known secret in Ghana football for the last 6 days or so, and he's been unveiled. The event began with Henry Asante-Chum, the spokesperson of the GFA, telling us the reason why we were gathered there. He went rather straight to the point that we are going to unveil the new coach of the Black Stars. He then invited the president of the... No, he then invited Prosper Harrison-Addo, the General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association, who laid out the contractual terms. And it's important, you have to understand why they lined up the way they did. So the communication person, the general secretary, who is in charge of most of these things, laid out the fact that yes, indeed, $30,000 was how much he is going to be paid a month.
Yeah.
Also, we understand. We'll come back, but we understand that Fred Papo is currently speaking to Muftar. Let's go there and get that right now.
He lets his work speak for him. He's a very focused and determined person who doesn't tolerate any laxity in his team.
And tell us briefly, the president was talking about discipline in the dressing room and all that. You were close to that dressing room.
I'm not talking about history. I'm talking about the future.
Okay. So future-wise, what does Milo represent?
I believe he represents a lot of hope. He's a very hardworking and committed person, very determined and disciplined in every aspect of the word. And I'm sure he's one who would make sure he puts his all and his players put in their all for the success of the team.
The stars given to him, is it and also qualifying for the FIFA World Cup, is that a reality?
It's a reality, but at the end of the day, I don't believe in targets. Everything depends on God. We only have to put in effort.
And that is Fred Papo. He was the management committee chairman of the senior national team when Ghana reached the quarter-final of the FIFA World Cup in 2010 and also the final of the 2010 African Cup of Nations. I've been joined by Maxwell Asabri. He has followed the Black Stars for a very long time, and he'll also be sharing with us what he makes of the return of Milovan Rajevac. Max, welcome to Joy News and Joy Prime. You just heard the Ghana Football Association unveil Milovan Rajevac for a second tenure. What do you make of their decision to bring back Milo?
Well, thank you very much in the first place. What I would say is that I think the GFA is not having the time and luxury to wait for any new coach. The fact of the matter is that we are in a competitive journey, and in view of that, they considered a coach who has seen the terrain before, a coach who has been here before, knows the culture and knows the chemistry of Ghanaians, the way they react to issues, whether good or bad. So if you are in search for a coach at this particular critical moment, what informs the decision is the fact that let's go in for a coach who has been in the terrain before. And that is what largely, I believe, informed the decision to hire Coach Milo.
Is that the right decision?
Well, whether it is the right or wrong decision will depend on the output of the coach and the outcome of all the matches that he's going to play. I believe in judging by your work. We cannot speculate. We are not into the future. Yeah. We don't know what the future holds for us. For all you know, there's a cliche in the media that second comings of majority of the coaches are not pleasant. Yeah. But I believe that, as he has promised that he's going to change the narrative, let us hold him to the fort and say that perhaps we are going to have a reverse of the narrative by him succeeding a second time. So let us hold our guns and wait till the outcome of all that he comes to do. If we judge him and the fact of the matter is that the narrative is the same, yeah, then then we can conclude that his hiring wasn't good enough for Ghana. Okay. But I believe that with the chemistry that has been displayed here, I believe that maybe he has the Midas touch now to bring something good to Ghana.
That is Maxwell Asabri, one man who has followed the senior national team, have a perfect idea of what the senior national team is all about. He just mentioned one interesting thing about second coming. Second comings might not be good, but the second coming of CK Jemfi won the country the last AFCON title we won in 1982. Now I've been joined by Apirigu Chakapama, an ardent follower of the senior national team, someone who is close to the players and have an idea about what a man like Milovan Rajevac will bring to the table. First of all, tell us your feelings, having heard the Ghana FA president talk about the return of Milovan.
Well, I'm very happy. I was looking for Coach Kwesi Appiah, but unfortunately I didn't get. But
you wanted a third coming for Kwesi Appiah?
Yes, I had wanted Coach Kwesi Appiah, but having get Milo, yeah, I think it's also good. I'm okay. And looking at what Milo came to Ghana, what he did, he took us to the best in terms of football. Yeah. So now, when he's back, and I think it is very good, we need to support him because he alone can't do the work. Yes. So by supporting him, I think things will be very fine.
And that is Apiriku Chakapama over there sharing with us what he makes of the return of Milovan Rajevac as head coach of the senior national team. But now we are going to be having a conversation with a couple of other people who are all here to oversee or watch the return of Milovan Rajevac as head coach of the senior national team. Every single detail you need to know about his second coming have been reported by MyJoy Online, and we've published everything on the website. So go on the website and read all the details that you need to know about the second coming of Milovan Rajevac. Let me speak to Jude. Jude will just share something simple with us. Jude is one of the commentators of the FIFA World Cup. FIFA World Cup. Jude is one of the commentators of the Ghana Premier League. He has also been following the senior national team, and he'll be speaking to us about the return of Milovan. Jude, welcome to Joy News and Joy Prime. A quick opinion on the return of Milovan Rajevac.
Well, he looks well refreshed. I feel we need to give him the support. He needs the backing. Where we are now, we are in a fix, in an area where we can't joke with anything that we do. So we must support him, and we must give him the needed logistics to work. And I feel if we want somebody to turn the fortunes of the Black Stars around, he is the right person to do it. He knows the terrain, he knows the culture. And I'm sure if you look at his demeanor and his presence here, he feels good at home. He feels like he has the Midas touch. Yeah.
Many people had bundled names all over. They were talking about Hervé Renard, they were talking about Otto Addo and co. Do you think bringing back Milovan, based on the arguments many people have said about his record after leaving the senior national team, was it the best thing to happen to us? And what do you foresee in the future?
Well, I honestly, I feel whatever he went to do after 11 years with the Black Stars, I can confidently say it wasn't that good. But hey, because he knows how to turn things around with the Ghana team, he seems to have the magic in terms of creating a team and a force around the Black Stars. It might not be the best because if you're talking about the elite coaches, he doesn't belong to one. In terms of coaches with high salaries, he's not in that mix. But tactically, I feel he has enough to stabilize the Black Stars and make them a force. So I am looking at he doing probably what he did 11 years ago and beyond, if he has the luck.
That is Jude Echampo over there, one of the commentators of the Ghana Premier League. You hear his voice often. Now, we are speaking to Sadiq Adams, the sports Obama. You heard the president of the Ghana Football Association. Tell him and I that we should trust the process. Sadiq, should we start trusting the process?
I think the process has started already. It started from, I have had my doubts, and I still stay by the doubts I have. I would want to be proved wrong with the appointments. But I believe that they've explained things quite well and clearly. The president tried to be a bit inspirational in trying to, shape the opinion of people, and that's right as a president of the association. But we all have to, hope. We cannot predict the future. It may exceed expectations. It may be even lower. Like they said, Milo has an unfinished business with Ghana. That was a very interesting line. It can be that Milo wants to achieve something greater than he did or finish us completely. So we just have to wait and see if there are more positive outcomes from the look of things. We just hope to see the direction and see where he wants to take the team.
If you were to make a choice for the Ghana Black Stars in terms of the names that were bundled around, and considering our circumstances at the moment, is Milo the best fit?
Well, I do not really like second coming of coaches, especially those who have achieved some relative success in the terrain before. But Milo has said that he's coming here to change that narrative. And I believe that with the hope and vigor that he has in trying to change, that would depend on what he wants to do. Personally, I would have gone for somebody else Like the president said, we all have our opinions, but at the end of the day, the decision rests solely with the committee and the president and the Ghana Football Association, and even the ministry. We do not have, the chance of appointing. I have my opinion, but once the coach is appointed, your opinion doesn't matter. What matters is the support and how to put them on their toes to churn out the results to the best of interest of the entire country.
The final question before I let you go, he's been tasked to win the African Cup of Nations and so also qualifies for the FIFA World Cup. Considering the time that we are in, is it possible, is it realistic targets handed to him?
Not really. You would need a very long-term plan, to me. Yeah. But in football, things happen. As far as we know, a lot of things will happen in football that doesn't make sense in court. So you have to wait. I believe that even if you give somebody 1 month to achieve something, it will depend on what the person decides to do and what the outcome of the results are. Maybe Milovan Rajevac may achieve or attain some miracle. Milovan may be able to get some miracle for the Black Stars, qualify for the World Cup and win the AFCON, which will be the biggest, achievement for any coach in the last 40 or 50 years. Yeah. But what I think the FA needs to do is to plan for the long term. This will be in the short term. I've been in this room for the past, 10 years, witnessing the unveiling of coaches, and this has been the regular line. Win the AFCON, qualify for the World Cup. More than 10 years in this same room, so many coaches, same line. It doesn't happen. Yeah. But I believe that one day, one time, things will change. So let's hope what happens at the end of his tenure.
One day, one time, things would change. That is Sadiq Adams, the head of sports for Angel Broadcasting Group, sharing with us his thoughts on the return of Milovan Rajevac. One game that many people will never forget about Milo was that quarter-final game against Uruguay when Ghana lost via penalty shootout after Asamoah Gyan missed the last-minute penalty kick in that game. Total matches played by Milo were 28. He won 12, drew 11, and lost just 5 of those matches. Is his return going to be that magic wand for Ghana to finally end its near 40 years of failure to win the African Cup of Nations and also qualify for the World Cup after failing to do that in 2018? We take a look at the highlights of what transpired between Ghana and Serbia in that game.
Welcome to Swanee, Pretoria, the Loftus Versfeld Stadium for the opening game in Group D. Serbia and Ghana coming face to face today. Stankovic this time appears to have the determined look of a man who wants to strike for goal. It's going to be Kolarov though on the left foot, just putting it wide. Wasn't a long way away from Alexander Kolarov. Pansel's going to hurl a long one in here. Inside that box, and a good header down as well from Asamoah Gyan. It's a terrific throw and a good leap by Gyan. Well, it hit the post, didn't it? It hit the post. As it's hit long, it's going to be a booking here. Lukovic has shown the yellow card. It's a second yellow card for Alexander Lukovic. He can barely believe it, but he's forced to make the long walk. There was an arm in there, maybe a little bit of a hole, but Ghana lifted by the fact they now have a man advantage. Lazovic. Chased hard by Pansel, but Lazovic has worn out here. He's done ever so well. Lays it back. Oh, and it's missed at the first attempt. Hit at the second by Krasic. It's a terrific save by Kingston, denying the 10 men of Serbia. Important touch of the head from Zdravko Kuzmanovic. Oh, and the referee has said it's a penalty. He said it was a handball, and he's given a penalty. It did touch his hand. It's absolutely spot on. Asamoah Gyan has the chance for the penalty spot to sink Serbia. Jen steps up, Stojkovic goes the wrong way, and Ghana are going the right way. The deadlock finally broken with 6 minutes to play, and Ghana have the lead. An opportunity for Jean again here to finish it. Oh, he's hit the post. That would have been that. But Asamoah Gyan couldn't quite curl it into the far post. Lazovic hooks it back. Stern defending required. Pansel gets the head down, scramble to some kind of freedom, and that is that. And Milovan Rajevac, against his home nation, will not celebrate the victory, but those in his team will. Ghana 1, Serbia 0.
Where were you? I know I didn't have this hair. I didn't have a beard.
Yeah.
I was somewhere on the floor. I was a very young boy,
Yeah.
just cheering Ghana. I didn't really know a lot about football at that time, unfortunately. But I really remember the World Cup experience.
Yeah.
What about you? What were you?
2010, I'd just started out not long before. I was 2 years into my career, having left journalism school like 2 years before. And it was my second major tournament. I was reporting for ESPN on this World Cup. Yeah, and it was Milovan's appointment is personal for me because it's the last time I gave my heart to the Black Stars. And it's the last time I gave any Black Stars coach my emotions. Yeah, so as for Milovan, he and me, we have unfinished business. You know,
Like he said,
we have unfinished business. But yeah, those were great moments, and it's interesting to see him back and to hear what our colleagues had to say at the Ghana Football Association as well. So, what we got there?
Well, so a lot has been said actually in terms of the Black Stars and Coach Milovan Rajevac coming back. We keep updating the websites, but you would have the latest, the biggest out of what he said, Milovan Rajevac, is that he thinks the Black Stars could have won the Africa Cup, the World Cup, in 2010 if it wasn't for Luis Suarez. And he thinks that if we reach the semi-finals, his team did have a good chance. And then there's a story about Maxwell Kunedu and Otto Addo also being confirmed as Black Stars assistant head coaches. And we do know that Otto Addo and Maxwell Kunedu will still be in charge of their respective club sides. So Otto Addo will still be the head coach and the assistant coach of Borussia Dortmund. And then also for Maxwell Kunedu, he will be the head coach of Legon City.
But what we couldn't show you before it all started, because the GFA were very, very prompt. They gave us 2 o'clock. They actually started talking at 1:56. Was what happened before and this is what started it really created a buzz on social media when the official photos of Milovan for the first time in Ghana started coming out. And yeah, this is him by our intrepid photographer David Andor, Maxwell Kunedu, Milovan, Nenad Glisic, his interpreter there as well. These were the official photos, which showed that all the rumors were really, really fact. So you can get all these on myjoyonline.com, in addition to the fact that this is one of the main takeaways. Under Siki Akono, we had so many rumors that the Black Stars was under the influence of other people when it came to player selection. However, this story is one of the biggest trending on my Joy Online right now, and it's that Milo says when it comes to selection of players, it is he. Oriku, why is this important?
I think it's extremely important because if you do look at the dynamics set, in the precedent with, CK Akono, you have to be extremely sure and transparent that whoever is coming out there would have a definite pool of players. We saw CK Akono make a promise of a 40 pool, and Joy Sports did his research and realized that in 18 months, he had used 75 players. And, interestingly, That's more than Milo used in his time at Ghana. So in just 10 matches, CK Akono used 75 players, and Milo was in charge of 28 games, and he used just 73. And so you could do the math and see that if we allowed CK Akono to probably continue, he could have surpassed the 100-player mark by the end of the year. So this is a coach who has a core and know what he expects.
All right, so that's what is on myjoyonline.com. If you just joined us, this is the live coverage of the second coming of Milovan Rajevac. The Serbian, 67 years old now, is back to coach the Black Stars. Let's take you through the main highlights of the 1 hour, 30-minute event that took place at the Ghana FA Secretariat. So after the photos where he was brought in, we saw Henry Asantichum, the GFA Communications Director, introduce the event. He then handed over to Prosper Harrisinado, the GFA General Secretary, who let us know the following, that Milovan Rajevac has been in town since Sunday. He's been in town since Sunday. He has actually started working already. We know from our colleague Muftar Nabila that his contract officially started on the 20th of September. The GFA president let us know that Milovan has been given access to our last 10 matches, all the videos and all the analysis as he gets ready for us to play Zimbabwe in 2 weeks. We were also told that Milovan, as has been reported and was broken by my colleague Muftar Nabila in the last week or so, he will be on $30,000 a month. The GFA also confirmed officially that Milovan will get $300,000 if he wins the Africa Cup of Nations. If he wins the Africa Cup of Nations, that will be his bonus. If he qualifies us to the World Cup, Milovan Rajevac will be given $300,000 as well, instantly. That will be his motivation. Milovan is on a 1-year deal. So from now until the World Cup, 1.5-year deal, actually, from now until the World Cup. It is automatically renewed if he qualifies us for the World Cup. That is the deal that he is on. It was also confirmed that Milovan will be given a befitting accommodation. We were not told whether the state accommodation that was initially given to Black Stars coaches, that is Kwesi Appiah and then CK Akono for a while, will be given to him. But the GFA president confirmed that he will not be staying in a hotel. He'll be given an official accommodation. Also, he brought his interpreter along. If you look at the pictures that we had on My Joy Online, the man in the glasses who was interpreting, Nenad Glisic, will be part of Milovan Rajevac's entourage. However, the GFA president says that the salary will come from Milovan's salary. Okay, so Ghana will not pay extra to Nenad Glisic. Milovan's $30,000 a month salary, they'll find an arrangement between themselves and they are going to pay the Serbian. He also mentioned that a pool of coaches was had in the period when the 3-man committee was tasked to get a coach for the national team, and they settled on Milovan Rajevac. As you heard Muftar Nabila speaking to the GFA vice president, we were told that they looked for somebody who was a disciplinarian, who looked for the Ghanaian culture, somebody who had gone in the last 10 years to the highest echelons of the Africa Cup of Nations and the World Cup. And also they looked at, of course, the salary matters, that it could fit into the Ghanaian context and what we could pay and what we could comfortably afford. After they looked at all the factors, they settled on a return for Milovan Rajevac. And what you see on your screen right now is a rewind of some of the great moments that Milovan Rajevac took the Black Stars through in his first stint. This is against the Socceroos of Australia. In goal is Richard Kinson, who was also introduced by the GFA as part of the technical team of Milovan Rajevac. So Milovan Rajevac will be coach, Maxwell Konedu will be assistant, Otto Addo will also be assistant. It was not made clear whether Otto Addo is going to leave his job as assistant coach at Borussia Dortmund, but we were just told that Otto Addo is officially a coach, an assistant coach of the Black Stars. Richard Kinson is also part of the technical team. We are told he will be the official goalkeepers trainer as well. Eriku, did I miss anybody in the technical team?
No. Bernard Lippert,
Bernard Lippert keeps his job as technical director of the national teams. And so that's about the summary of what happened at the press conference. And then we took questions from our colleagues in the media. Muftar Nabila and Mubarak of our team asked questions, and we will see some of the quotes. If our producers are ready, we'll be seeing some of the quotes. There were also, yes, so when it was time for question and answer, he was asked why he left us in the ditch 10 years ago or 11 years ago. Milovan says, I had wanted to stay in Ghana after the 2010 World Cup, but some personal things happened, so I had to leave. But we should let go of the past and look forward to the future. But if we can come back to the studio, let me remind you what happened at the time. Immediately we qualified for the World Cup quarterfinal, and Ghana was, exited the competition. Milo had a period where his contract, and he said at the press conference, remember, he said at the press conference when a journalist tried to emotionally blackmail him that his contract had ended at the time. So he had a 7-day period within which to, give us an answer about what we're going to stay. Now, the Kwesi Nyantakyi-led administration at the time immediately put a new offer on the table for him. Milovan did not want it. For 7 days, we did not hear from him. And I remember in an interview with Joy Sports at the time, my colleague Ernest Cranting was here at the time. An official of the GFA said they had no idea where Milo was. Kwesi Nyantakyi was very angry when he spoke in that interview and said they don't know where Milo is as well. Later, we were told that Milovan wanted $100,000 a month at the time, and because we couldn't meet it, he had left Ghana. And from a personal point of view, that was the last time I gave my heart to a Black Stars coach. Yeah, so that's one thing he said at the question and answer. If we have another quote, let's see what he said as well. Very cool.
And this one says that the 2010 World Cup was the biggest success of my career, and if Suarez did not do what he did, we could have been world champions.
Oh.
Well, it's interesting because we're going to face Netherlands in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Did we have what it takes at that point to beat Netherlands?
Look, I believe that at that point, several of the players have spoken, but none more so than Asamoah. Asamoah said in 2010 at that time, they had the golden touch. Those were his words. He said, those things that in a team, even when you make a mistake, it's a good mistake. Yeah. He said Black Stars were in that zone if they had gotten to. And most of the players of that squad kept saying it, Riku, that if we had met Netherlands in that game, if we had needed to go under the sea, into the sky, anywhere.
And Andrea, you would have been back from suspension. Yeah?
Exactly. Andrea, you would have been back from suspension as well. So, yeah. Any more quotes from the question and answer, if you just joined us? He was asked how he feels to be back, and he mentioned that Ghana is his second home. Says, I am happy, very happy to be here. I hope that we can do big things. I am looking forward to a good working relationship with the GFA. What else do we have?
This one from Milo says that we all have to come together, the technical team, the media, the players, everybody, to be able to get to the World Cup again. A reminder, Ghana currently sits second in Group G behind South Africa with 3 points. South Africa have 4 points.
So he was asked how he is feeling, and this is what he says. Man say he not ready. Man says he's ready, and he's ready to give it his best. The thing that I remember so well about Milo's first thing that people liked about him was his calm. Yeah. Barely under pressure. And people remember this. When he beat Serbia, you remember that game? Yeah. On TV, after the game, one member of the team, I don't remember who, wanted to hug him. He pushed him away. Get away from me. He had just beaten his national team, his own national team. And that was one of the few times we saw that Milo was angry. And from those who said the other time that people saw him very angry was the Sule Muntari incident, when Sule disrespected some people in the camp, and he told Kwesi Nyantakyi that he never wanted to see Sule Muntari again. And the hierarchy of the GFA and others said, we understand that he's disrespected members of the team, but let's manage him. And, as it happened, Sule happened to be a key member of the team as well. There he is.
I think this was arguably his best goal for the Black Stars.
Yeah.
It was really from nowhere.
Yeah. Out of the blue.
Yeah. You know, and in the edition of Rewind coming up, Painter, he said that when they were young, they knew of Muntari's qualities, even from the early 2000s, that whenever he hits it, it just finds a way to go in. And I think we're really gifted